Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Third Eye Media. So let's get back to some current affairs which were published in Hindu newspaper on April 9th. I think we were delayed a little bit, so please cooperate with us. The first topic was several states are coming to court against Center Supreme Court. So obviously many states are complaining that center is directly involving or exerting its pressure or exerting its power over the state's power. So we are not going to get into all those controversies. We are just going to understand some of the few facts or some of the main key positions which a persons are holding. So what is the first one is Attorney General. So we are having a very important key position, that is Attorney General of India. So present Attorney General is R. Venkataramani. Remember the name, R. Venkataramani is the present Attorney General. And the other one is Solicitor General Tushar Mehta. These people are the ones who actually represent the central government in the Supreme Courts or any high courts with respect to any disputes or matters. Next, Cyclone Michaung. So Cyclone Michaung was also on the news. So Cyclone Michaung made landfall on 5th December in Bapatla between Nellore and Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh as a supercyclonic storm. The tropical cyclone had formed over the Bay of Bengal off the southeast coast of India. So only three important things in this particular article, that is who is Attorney General, who is Solicitor General, and what is Cyclone Michaung. That's it. Next, households debt surged to new high by December 2023. According to a research report, debt levels are reckoned to have touched an all-time high of 40% of GDP, while net financial savings had likely dropped to their lowest level at around 5% of GDP. So means debt has been increased and the financial savings have been reduced. In what may be constructed as a sign of rising financial distress, India's household debt levels are reckoned to have touched an all-time high of 40% of gross domestic product by December 2023, while net financial savings had likely dropped to their lowest level at around 5% of GDP, as per a research report from leading financial services firm Motilal Oswal. Our estimates suggest that household debt has risen to approximately 40% of GDP as of 2023, reaching a new high. The report ascribed the dismal 2023 net financial savings numbers to weak economic growth or income growth. Robust consumption and growth in fiscal savings. Obviously, it is going to affect the economy in a large scale. Next, as guns fall silent along Pakistan border, bunkers turn into kitchen storeroom. In February 2021, after India and Pakistan agreed for reobservance of the 2003 ceasefire agreement, cross-border firing and shelling have reduced drastically along the border. The last time the village, so we are basically discussing about a particular village which is actually located on the borders of Pakistan and India. So the last time the village was shelled by Pakistan was in 2020. The Pakistan border has largely remained silent since February 25, 2021, when the Director Generals of Military Operations of India and Pakistan agreed to a strict observance of all agreements, understandings and ceasefire along the line of control and all other sectors. So it's a good news because there is no shelling and firing happening across the cross border. Next, identify projects for Musi riverfront development to boost investor confidence. This is related to Hyderabad. This is an article related to Hyderabad. So Musi riverfront development to be taken up in PPP mode, that is Public Private Partnership mode, says Chief Secretary A. Santi Kumari at the 24th board meeting of the Musi Riverfront Development Corporation Limited. So remember who is the CS of Telangana or who is the CS? Chief Secretary is A. Santi Kumari. A. Santi Kumari. Next, spreading fragrance. An attar seller fills. So as it is this particular news is before the Ramzan thing, before the celebration of Ramzan or the festival. So some things are actually covered in that related to Ramzan. So let's discuss all those things. That is, an attar seller fills a designer bottle with perfume to spoil customers during Ramzan in Hyderabad on Monday. It spilled customers. Pure and natural attars are derived from different kinds of flowers and other herbs by the traditional approach of steam distillation in a copper vessel. So how this attar is prepared? Nothing but by using traditional method, that is steam distillation in copper vessel. So they are extracted from flowers and herbs by steam distillation. Next, direct seeding of rice offers hope. Prosperity in Siddipet district. Water saving direct seeding of rice, also known as broadcasting seed technique, has emerged as a boon for paddy farmers in the district. This innovative approach allows farmers in Erravalli village to sow paddy seeds directly into wet fields, offering a solution to labor shortages and reducing cultivation costs. Unlike the labor-intensive transplanting method, which involves significant expenses such as nursery management and labor costs averaging around 6,000 per acre, DSR requires, that is direct seeding of rice, requires only 10 to 12 kg of sprouted seeds to be broadcasted. Further, a single individual can broadcast seeds over 5 to 10 acres in a day, expediting the process. Crops grown using the DSR method typically mature 7 to 10 days earlier than those cultivated through traditional means. So, obviously, rather than keeping the plugs, so basically what we do, we actually convert the seedling into small plants and then we actually sow them in the land, right, for the sake of paddy. But now we can directly sow seeds. This is nothing but a new technique, and it also reduces the time cost, and it will come, and its mature period is fast when compared to the traditional approach. Now, next one is right against climate change, a fundamental right, says Supreme Court. It says rights to life and equality cannot be fully realized without clean and stable environment. Underscores the important role solar power would play in arresting the ills of climate change. The Supreme Court has recognized a much felt but less articulated right against the adverse effects of climate change as a distinct fundamental right in the Constitution. We all know that we have some 7 fundamental rights. Previously, there used to be 7 fundamental rights, but at present we are having only 6 fundamental rights. It is recognized by Article 14, that is right to equality, and Article 21, that is right to life. The Supreme Court observed in a judgment released on April 6. The judgment came in a case connected with the survival of the endangered great Indian bustard species. So, basically they are telling that right against climate is also a fundamental right. If someone is actually destroying the climate, then obviously it is it's indirectly affecting Article 14 and 21 of the Indian Constitution. The right to health, which is a part of the right to life under Article 21, is impacted due to factors such as air pollution, shifts in vector-borne diseases, rising temperatures, droughts, shortages in food supplies due to crop failure, storms and flooding. India needed to shift to solar power due to 3 issues. 1. The country is likely to account for 25% of global energy demand growth over the next 2 decades. 2. Rampant air pollution emphasizes the need for cleaner energy sources. 3. Declining groundwater levels and decreasing annual rainfall. So, these are 3 things why actually India need to shift from solar power to normal power to solar power. The adoption of renewable energy technologies helps in curbing air pollution, thereby improving public health and reducing healthcare costs. Next, another topic is CASL's satellite successfully deployed in space. Tata Advanced Systems Limited announced the successful deployment in space of its sub-meter resolution optical satellite TSAT-1A by SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The satellite was placed in space as part of Bandwagon 1 mission and was launched from Kennedy Space Center, Florida, US on April 7th. This achievement follows the collaboration signed between TASL, that is Tata Advanced Systems Limited, and Satalogic in November 2023, leveraging Satologic's expertise to develop and integrate an advanced Earth observation satellite in India, and TASL's capability to undertake complex system integration, it said in a statement. Next, strong link between high glycemic index diet and diabetes, says study. The findings of an international study suggest that consuming low glycemic index and low glycemic load diets might prevent the development of type 2 diabetes. They also found a strong association between glycemic index (GI) and the risk of type 2 diabetes among individuals with a higher body mass index. So, I will give some foods which are actually less in having low GI foods. So, first let us discuss list out some low GI foods: fruits, grains, lentils, non-starchy vegetables, legumes, dairy products, brown rice. These are all comes under the category of low GI foods. Now, when it comes to high GI foods, sugar, sweetened drinks, white polished rice, potatoes and white bread. This comes under high GI foods. So, it is better to have low GI foods so that we can actually avoid diabetes too, so that we can get rid of this type 2 diabetes. Next, GI ranks. There is nothing but GI, glycemic index, ranks carbohydrate containing foods based on the blood glucose response post-prandial or after a meal. The higher the blood sugar reading, the higher will be the glycemic index. Meanwhile, glycemic index GL, glycemic load, is both the quality and quantity of carbohydrates in a specific food and is a product of the GI, that is glycemic index, and the amount of carbohydrates available in a survey. So, based upon this carbohydrates, this entire concept is actually revolving. In the follow up, after nearly 12 years, 7,326 cases of type 2 diabetes occurred. A diet with a higher GI, that is the glycemic index, was associated with a higher risk of diabetes. Participants in the highest quintile of glycemic load had a higher risk of incident type 2 diabetes compared with those in the lowest quintile. Glycemic index's association with diabetes was stronger among individuals with a higher BMI. So, if you are having a high GI, that is glycemic index, and as well as a glycemic load diets, if you are consuming glycemic load diets, and if you are also having a BMI, then there is a higher chance of getting type 2 diabetes. That is all about this research study. Next, Cochin Shipyard signs ship repair agreement with the US Navy. It's a very good thing. As India and the US look to expand cooperation in ship repair and maintenance to turn India into a regional hub, Cochin Shipyard Limited became the third Indian shipyard to enter into a master shipyard repair agreement with the US, which will enable to repair US Navy ships. The state-run shipbuilding facility in Kochi is the latest in the line after Larsen and Toubro and Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. L&T Shipyard in Kattupalli near Chennai was the first Indian shipyard to sign the agreement in July last year. Last month, a UK naval ship arrived for the first time at Kattupalli for repairs. The MSRA, what is MSRA? MSRA is like a Master Shipyard Repair Agreement, is a non-financial agreement and is effective from April 5, 2024. This will facilitate repair of US naval vessels under Military Sea Lift Command in CSL. CSL is Cochin Shipyard Limited. Remember three names: Cochin Shipyard Limited, and next Larsen and Toubro and Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders. These are the three things which are actually taking up this repair companies or taking up this repairs in shipyards, especially with respect to US and UK. The visit of LRG attests to the UK's capability and commitment to the Indo-Pacific. The sight of Royal Navy ships undergoing essential maintenance at an Indian shipyard is yet another example of India-UK Logistic Exchange Memorandum of Agreement in practice. So, that particular topic will come under international relations. Next, India likely to produce 6.25% less wheat in 2024. India is expected to produce 105 million metric tons of wheat this year, a flour miller's body said on Monday, 6.25% lower than a government estimate. India banned exports in 2022 and is relying on bumper harvests to bolster stocks and tame local prices that surged due to dry weather. After assessing the crop across the country, we believe that wheat production will be 1.5 million metric tons less this year. So, obviously, wheat is having a very good demand in different various countries. So, basically, the first largest producer in the world, the world's largest wheat producer is Ukraine. So, basically, it is actually hit 10 by some crisis, right? So, because Ukraine and Russia are undergoing war. So, at that particular moment, most of the exporters tried to export wheat to the other countries. So, government has actually curbed the exports so that local demand should be able to met. Next, STB PhonePe to push UPI in Singapore. The Singapore Tourism Board and Bengaluru-based fintech firm PhonePe have entered into a 2-year strategic partnership to promote the unified payments interface for Indians traveling in Singapore. Under this collaboration, Indian travelers can use the PhonePe app for instant payments with more than 8,000 merchants in Singapore. The current agreement between the two companies builds upon the existing UPI linkage between India and Singapore, which allows customers to instantly make cross-border transactions between the two countries directly from their existing Indian bank accounts, according to a joint statement issued by the companies. Next, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan called for the resolution of Kashmir dispute. Ahead of the festival of Eid, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia in a joint statement have called for resolving all issues between India and Pakistan, including the issue of Kashmir. The statement was issued at the end of official visit of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to Saudi Arabia, where he met the Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. On the contrary, India's relations with Saudi Arabia have been growing stronger. Saudi Arabia is also host to a large Indian population. The Pakistan-Saudi Arabia joint statement also called for an end to the crisis in Gaza. So that's all. These were the topics which I found very important in Hindu newspaper on April 9th. So I have discussed them one by one. So that's all for this day. So that's all for this video. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.